Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and infinite glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace, Satan, salutations to the hopeful elect that's pushing his word, true, and sincerity. And I want to do a lesson based on a video that I saw, or I seen this video a couple weeks ago, and I want to do a lesson on. It says how so-called blacks were brutally robbed of their lands and wealth. And then this is going back how, so-called black farmers, how they were robbed of their wealth. Yeah, you had Jake after we were freed from slavery in 1865. A lot of Jakes. When I said Jake, I'm talking about Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. That's who we are. We're Israelites. But in 1865, when a lot of Israelites fled from, well, not fled, but when we were so-called freed, Jake was doing better for himself until the Jim Crow eras, when a lot of Edomites, were taking land from Jake and killing Jake for their land. And then there's a certain guy that I wanted to, a certain lynching of a Jake by the name of Anthony Crawford.
This time, we would like for family members to move forward and put on your soldiers' Army 1-star badge.
Crawford called the storekeeper a cheat.
Matter of fact, I'm just going to read it over here, Salakia. It says, the lynching of Anthony Crawford. It says Anthony Crawford was a so-called African-American who was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, man who was killed by a lynch mob in Abbeville, South Carolina on October 21st, 1916. It says Crawford was born early in the Reconstruction era of 1865 after the Civil War. Crawford's father became the owner of a modest acreage of cotton fields on the Little River, about 7 miles west of Abbeville, which he worked with his son. Anthony was an ambitious and illiterate child who ruthfully walked 7 miles to school in Abbeville. Crawford inherited the land on his father's death, when he increased by substantial land purchases in 1883, 1888, and 1899. In 1903, in the mid or late 1890s, Crawford was the co-founder of the Industrial Union of Abbeville County, which was devoted to the material, moral, and intellectual advance of the colored people. He was the father of 12 sons and 4 daughters, so this Jake, he had substance. And Esau, these devils, they didn't like Jake having substance. But it says, by 1916, his land holdings had expanded to 427 acres, as much as 600. According to some sources, many of Crawford's children had settled on plots adjoining that of their father, with a net worth of approximately $20,000 to $25,000 in 1916 dollars. Crawford was without a doubt one of the richest men in Abbeville County, South Carolina. Crawford was known for his refusal to tolerate disrespect or defiance in any form. Once, when his church preacher delivered a sermon decrying Crawford's meddling in church affairs. I'm going to go to the point. It says lynching. It says Crawford was held at the jail briefly and released later that day on $15 bail. While Crawford was awaiting bail, Barksdale was organizing a mob with McKinney Kane to whip Crawford and cure him if possible. Sheriff Burtz allowed Crawford to exit from the side door, but the mob saw him anyway and pursued him into a cotton mill nearby, where Crawford took shelter in a boiler room. McKinney Kane entered the boiler room after Crawford, and Crawford grabbed a hammer from some nearby tools, knocked the man unconscious. Along the mill workers attempted to stop it. Crawford was stabbed and severely beaten by the mob. R.M. Burtz appeared and arrested Crawford once more, much to the put my phone do not disturb. Much to the chagrin of the mob of whites, the sheriff could only get Crawford away from the mob by promising to the brother of Cain that he would not try to sneak Crawford out of town before the full extent. McKinney's injuries was known as it happened. Cain was not badly hurt, although Crawford was. He was treated by the physician C.C. Gamble, who also happened to be the mayor of Abbeville. Gamble announced that Crawford would likely die from his wounds. Concerned that Crawford might die from the mob before the mob could get to him, and concerned that the sheriff might spirit him out of town at 3 p.m., around 200 white men besieged the jail, captured and disarmed Sheriff Burst, and abducted Crawford. Crawford was dragged down 3 flights of stairs amongst a cheering, bloodthirsty mob, where they proceeded to beat him with rocks, wagon boards, jump and spit on him. The mob then dragged him through the black section of Slovakia. The mob then dragged him through the black section of town with a rope around his neck as a warning. The mob then stole a lumber wagon from a black driver and used it to take Crawford to a fairground nearby. Crawford, likely dead by that point, was still hung from a tree, and armed whites riddled his body with bullets and rendered it to a bloody pulp. But a bloodthirsty headline the next day read, "Negroes strung up and shot to pieces." After dark, the county coroner F.M.W. Nance assembled a jury which he only included 2 members of the lynch mob, one being his grandson, to the fairground to cut down Crawford's mutilated remains. Nance reported his finding as Crawford had died at the hands of parties unknown. That night, the relentless mob decided they needed to drive Crawford's children and their families from the area. A consortium of white businessmen, Jack Perrin, J. Allen Smith, and J. S. Stark, warned about the economic effect of such a decision, opposed these decisions, and was able to convince the mob, arranged a meeting the following Monday to decide what to do with Crawford's family. Yeah, pretty much get the point, Esau the damn devil. Violence against the children. As a matter of fact, let me get that. It's book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. That's right, that violence against thy brother Jacob. Because what Esau did, he did everything from violence, man. Esau was jealous of Jacob. These so-called white people were jealous of us during during the times, because when Jake left the plantation, Jake was, getting into that bettering themselves. Like, wasn't that Black Wall Street in 1929, or I think 1914 to 1929? Jake was doing better for themselves. And a lot of Edomites, they hated that, so they would raid Jake's. They destroyed Black Wall Street. They even had airplanes shooting at civilians. Esau shows that hatred towards Jake, man. That violence against that brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee. Ultimately, Esau is gonna pay for what he had done to our people, man. But shows them Jake was doing way better than Esau. To violence to get rid of Jake, man. A lot of Jake farmers, they're doing better than these Edomite farmers, and Jake and Esau would take violence just to steal Jake's land, man. Just like how they did when Jake was inventing a whole bunch of inventions, and Esau would steal that invention and try to make it his own invention. Would take credit for it, man. But I'm going to get another scripture. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity and the time that their iniquity had an end. That's right. So these Edomites had a perpetual hatred towards Jake, man. They had a perpetual hatred towards these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Americans. Matter of fact, I wanted to read a little bit of this. Verse 11. Obadiah. He cast lots upon Jerusalem, even more than likely his 12 sons, they have kids, and their kids are, still alive today. And more than likely they lost that substance because of these damn devils, man. The Esau stealing Jake's substance, that happened throughout the entire time, man. We were in especially when these devils, when they took over this country from the so-called Native Americans, the Israelites from the tribe of Gad, Northern Kingdom, they took advantage of that, man, and they tried to make it their own. See, Esau got a lot of things to pay, man. It says, "No have laid hands on their substance in a day of the calamity." Like, for example, Black Wall Street, man, Tulsa, Oklahoma, that was Jake's establishment. But what did Esau do? Esau destroyed it. And you probably got Edomites that own business out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and they never repaid. What they did to Jake. And Esau's gonna pay for that, man. Means forever hatred. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 12. For thus said the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken, and art thou that he that should all together go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt drink surely of it. That's right. Esau, Edom, he's going to pay for what he did to our people, man. He's not going to go unpunished. These Edomites living life. They reap the benefits of slavery, but they ain't gonna go unpunished. You heard about somebody struggling to punish these devils. Look at 26 chapter. But thus said the Lord, you heard about somebody strike power. I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they empty dogs shall fall by the sword. heart, and the year of my redeemers comes. That's right. So I'm looking forward to getting revenge for what these devils did to our forefathers, man. What they did to our people. We're gonna want vengeance, man. Vengeance is in the Lord's heart, and vengeance is in our heart as well. Cause Yahweh Shai, cause everything that we go through, man, all the pain, all the sufferings, we're gonna use that all on Esau, man. Because the Lord's gonna play, the Lord's gonna put that spirit on us. Because especially when we get them new bodies, we gonna know what these devils did to us, man. More than likely, the Jake that got lynched, Anthony Crawford, he's back on the earth, man. He's back on the earth, and trust me, if he's one of the elect, hey, he gonna get vengeance on you Edomites, man, big time. So you Edomites, man, y'all gonna pay. So-called white people, y'all gonna pay, man. But this is a quick lesson to the spirit. I'm gonna close it out. I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem outside by Hashem Rechak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace, Satan, salutations to the hopeful elect. Discussing his word, truth, and sincerity to the four corners of the earth. To the next time, Shalom. TTL, Baba, Soon. Shalom.